Right. Yes. Well, I mean, it's very interesting to think about this cross-pollination as you describe it, and I think for a very long time, and I think this, still goes on, that the cross-pollination or import-export of very bad ideas has plagued, Europe and America. So, Europe has sent some terrible ideas to the United States, and the can-do spirit of Americans has made them sometimes worse, and the opposite is true, of course. I mean, sitting here in Vienna, Austria a few years ago and, knowing that there was a Black Lives Matter, protest in this city that is obviously, the export of the American, you know, woke industry, let's say. So these bad ideas go back and forth all the time, and it's very interesting and, certainly rewarding to see some good ideas, going back and forth. I can say for Europe, Donald Trump's, presidency, particularly this 2nd term, has definitely put the wind in the sails for a lot of the, let's say, nationalist populist parties. And, speaking of sort of terminology, I mean, even the word conservative, I think, is getting a rethink. We rethink it all the time, and labels like left and right sometimes stop making as much sense as they used to. So it's really an interesting time um, to navigate these somewhat choppy waters.
Ella, you are in Vienna, Austria, and you're an American citizen. How in the world did you end up in Vienna? What's your and your what happened? How'd that happen?
Well, I could give you a one-word answer and just say love. My husband, is also American. He was living and working in Europe, before we got married, and, when we decided to get married, it seemed like an awfully good idea for us to live in the same, uh, city, same continent, same city. So I left my job and moved to Vienna where I knew one person and couldn't speak German, and, we've been having a wonderful adventure for almost 15 years now. So that's what got me to Austria.
That's so you are a trained attorney, correct?
I am. I am. In a previous life, I was a criminal prosecutor.
Here in the States.
Yes.
And your home is tell me again where your home is.
I grew up in Vermont.
Vermont. I knew it was the Northeast. I was going to say Maine. So Vermont, home of Bernie Sanders.
Yes. Well, yes, home of Bernie Sanders. In fact, I was having a very interesting discussion, with a Portuguese friend the other day about Vermont, and he said, "Oh, it looks so beautiful," and he said, "And it's quite conservative, isn't it?" And I said, "Well, actually, historically, that's true. I mean, for most of its history until, the 1960s, Vermont was the most reliably Republican state, very, very conservative. Uh, it was farmers and, some industry quarries, and then the Back to the Land movement, as well as a series of sort of a perfect storm of bad legislation, the interstate highway system, all of these things converged on Vermont, and people like Bernie Sanders, Ben and Jerry, let's say, and others decided that, Vermont would be a perfect place to call home. It's perfect exactly the way it is, now let's change it, and that's been happening for 50 years or more.